Welcome to Expedition Dogman. My name is Jamie and I will be your host for this evening. Please feel free to comment, subscribe and like. Please share this video to your friends as this will help the channel grow. Hello and welcome to Expedition Dogman. My name is Jamie and I will be your host for this evening. Tonight I would like to talk to you about dogmen. What exactly is a dogman? If you go down to the woods today, you better not go alone. Creepy statement, right? But what if I told you the creature we want to talk about was only found in myths and legends? Truly, if this existed, the true creature would be more horrifying than we truly first thought. It was a creature that is hairy, stands 7 foot tall, morphs between man and beast, has had harrowing eyes and a harrowing howl, and it wreaks havoc on the full moon. I'm of course talking about werewolves. I bet some of you were sat there thinking, but come on Jamie, these creatures don't truly exist. What about if I told you they did, but not as we think they are? Like I discussed in the previous podcast, werewolves are a totally separate creature. But what about if the true creature of myth and lore was real? What about if it was known as a dogman? Now, the question is, what is a dogman? A dogman is exactly how I've just described it. 7 foot tall, harrowing eyes, amber usually in colour. Harrowing howl that can be heard for miles around. Funny thing is though, it doesn't wreak havoc on the full moon. In fact, you could be walking down the street and you could in fact meet a dogman. There is many different theories surrounding what a dogman is. Some people believe it is interdimensional. Some people believe that it's the true creature of this world, like Bigfoot. Some believe that a dogman is extraterrestrial, that aliens have in fact bred wolves and humans together to create a creature of immense power. Some even think the government have a hand in this and that the government know about these because it's their form of experiment. Today, I don't want to talk about any of that. Today, I want to look at the creature itself and the possibility that it is actually a flesh and blood creature that can be found all over the world. I bet some of you are thinking, but come on, this can't be true. Well, if we look on Google Maps and search up dogman sightings, there is numerous reports of this creature, of the fact that it's been spotted in the Americas, it's been spotted all over Europe, Asia, and even into Australasia. Interesting, right? So what exactly is it? How can it stand on the hind legs? This is an answer we cannot truly tell, because too many people, when they encounter this creature, are too scared. But if we look at the two different types of it, you have the canine type, and you also have the more humanoid type. Many people believe, like Bigfoot, that dogmen are the true inhabitants of this world. Highly plausible theory. But let's take a step back from all that for the time being. Let's just look at what this creature can do. Like most wolves, it is a very aggressive creature. It's one of those that, if provoked, could be life-threatening. It is actually an apex predator. Granted, deaths of humans are only 1%. You've got a 1,000,000 to 1 chance, not only of encountering this creature, but also being attacked by it. It's more territorial in nature. From all the reports we've read, through everything we have seen, this creature likes to make dens. I alluded to in the hunt for the old stinker that they could possibly make nests. I seem to have got the terminology wrong on that one. This creature in fact makes dens. It can also breed. You have male, you have females, as you do with many different animals in the animal kingdom. Most creatures are scared of this creature, and it really doesn't make me wonder why. There is many different cases out there, like the case of the LBL, which we'll come to in coming weeks, that suggest that this creature is in fact attracted to people through different scents. If we look at it from a psychological point of view, say for instance you're wearing Lynx aftershave, you attract the opposite sex. This creature can be attracted towards its prey due to smell. But obviously, for it to be a real creature, it needs to live near water. It needs to live near a food source. So that's why you find most of these creatures are spotted along riverways, the sea, places like that. Anywhere where there is a good body of water. Also, it needs a good food source. Now, like a typical wolf, this creature will happily dine on deer, pheasants, anything that is big and substantial. Now, in most countries, it's fighting alongside the likes of normal wolves. It's fighting alongside bears for dominance. Now, in America, this is why you get so many cases of misidentification, due to the fact that different apex predators behave very similarly to dogmen. But the thing is, what makes dogmen truly horrific is they leave nothing behind apart from a ripped up carcass, disemboweled limbs all over the place. They don't understand how to clean up from each other. And like we do, we know how to clean up our messes, we know how to clean up our kills. Whereas in the animal kingdom, it is a totally separate case. Whereas in the likes of the UK, where we have them as well, where these dogmen are living, we don't have any apex predators. Not to the degree of what this creature can do. So the question is then, why is it being spotted? When, as we all know, in the United Kingdom, wolves went extinct in the 1500s to be exact. So what is it people are seeing? Is it a figment of the imagination? I don't believe so. I do believe people are seeing real living creatures and they know how to live in the shadows. They know not to interfere with humans because they've realised that humans have got guns. They can hurt them. So, like with anything, if you go to shoot at it, due to fear or fight or flight, whatever you want to call it, you're going to back off. You're going to realise, oh, wait a minute, this hurts. They've realised that humans are not the friendliest of species. Hence the reason these creatures choose to live in the shadows. The same can be said for Bigfoot. These creatures in origin have been around since early man, since the early recordings of history. If we look at Egypt as an example of this, you've got Anubis, who was a dogman god. He was half dog, half human. Also, Zeus cursed somebody to be a wolf. So, stories of these wolves or dogmen-like entities have lived throughout our history. So, if we look at it from that process, from that algorithm, these creatures have watched mankind develop, and they've seen that we're not scared to go up against them, so they'd rather live back in the mythology. They'd rather keep to the shadows. Occasionally, though, humans will intercept these creatures, and as we know, they are wild animals. They're not tame. You could befriend one, but it'd take you a long time to do it. So this then begs the theory, where is their aggressive nature coming from? And I go back to an earlier point that I made, the apex predator. They are top of their food chain. They're not scared of humans, which then is quite a sobering thought, really. We humans like to believe we are the top of our food chain. We like to believe we're the dominant species on this planet. But the question is, are we really? Are we so dominant that all creatures bow before us? No, we're not. I know this is turning into a bit of a philosophical debate, but it just goes to show there is creatures out there that will kill us if we step on their territory. It's like when we went to Bramston Drain the other week. We was getting growling at us because we stepped into its den. We stepped into something's den where it could easily be storing food. Granted, we didn't see any food because it could have been out hunting. So you're going to get warnings off these creatures, and if you don't listen to what they're trying to tell you, then they will take the actions necessary to get you off their turf. And I think, realistically, in some of the more grisly cases, in some more cases like the LBL, this is what's happened. People have stepped onto their colony and they haven't listened to the warnings they were given. So that covers the aggressive nature. Unfortunately, there is not much else known because people don't want to talk about them, and that's due to that goes back into the mindset that we discussed in our last podcast of werewolves are not what you think. It all comes down to the psychology, and because people are too scared of these creatures, they don't want to talk about them, and this is where it's difficult. So I implore you, to anybody listening who has had encounters, please email expeditiondogman@gmail.com and we will talk about this. And I will be fascinated to hear of your encounters. And if you wish me to share them on this channel, I'm more than willing to do so. Or if you wish to just share them in private, you're more than welcome to. So, until next time, when we will discuss all things dogmen, just remember, be aware of the howl. Thank you for listening.